Okay, I said I'd finish out this week with showing you how to automate the issue of certificates and patching the CentOS machine. So if you go back to the certbot link that was in your assignment file and scroll down to step 6 to set up automatic renewal, it is recommended that you issue the following echo command that adds this into a cron job. A cron job, just basically a task scheduler in Linux. One thing they forgot to do is put sudo in front of it, but I'm going to go down here and to copy this entire line. So copy. And I'll open up the putty and putty into my CentOS machine, and then I'd issue the sudo command followed by a space, and then I'd right click to paste that entire line of configuration and hit enter. And that right there sets the Let's Encrypt Everything. The certbot program will launch and check. I believe it's twice a day, I think it is. I have to go back and look up the cron information, and it checks to see if the certificate is nearing its, I believe it's 90-day expiration window. When it gets close to expiring, it auto-renews the certificate. So your site will never be without a certificate, or it will never show up with an expired certificate, because a new one will be generated for at the end of every expiration cycle. So that's pretty quick on that part. But the next part, let's go ahead and go to Google. And I'm going to search for Linux cron. We'll do a Linux cron tab format. And this is always useful to have open and look. So the cron format goes with minute, hour, day of the month, day of week, and then the command. So that's how it is across. And asterisk means every. So be very careful with putting an asterisk somewhere. You wouldn't want to typically do not want to put an asterisk in the minute field, because that would mean every single minute you'd want to run the command. So be careful with editing cron. And this should have been covered in microcomputer operating systems. So I've got this up, and what am I looking at next? I'm wanting to set it up where my CentOS machine always keeps itself up to date. So I'm going to do a Yum Cron setup for CentOS 7. That's what I'm going to Google search. So how to set up automatic security updates on CentOS 7. So how to forge. So first it says you need to install Yum Cron on CentOS 7 and then configure automatic updates and exclude any packages if you want to. So step 1, install Yum Cron. So sudo yum install yum-cron. So this package is sort of a pre-configured task scheduler for the update program. So how Windows automatically checks for updates randomly throughout the day, at least once a day. That's what we're doing here. We're setting up the automatic check for updates. So it says we need to enable. I always like to enable first, then start. I don't know why everybody seems to be doing it backwards, but I like to do a sudo system ctl enable yum-cron. You should not receive an error. I hit the up arrow key and change enable to start. So the service is now running. Now it says we should configure the update protocol, change into the etc yum folder, use sudo, and either vim or vi. Vim may be more colorful. So I'm going to go ahead and use their example, sudo vim yum-cron.config. Hit enter. So it does colorize stuff. With putty, the blue is really hard to read. You may want to just use vim, but let's look here on what we can do. What does it say? So in the file heading, you should find update command and define the kind of update you want to use. For example, they're only going to focus on security updates. So I think it's probably going to be hard to see this on the YouTube video. I'm going to go ahead and quit out. Instead of using Vim for color, I'm just going to use VI to turn the coloring off. So on this here command right here on this line, command is set to default. So what does default do? It defaults yum upgrade. There are other commands that could be run, like security. It'd actually run yum security upgrade. So several different ones. I like the default, just update everything on the system. But depending on your production system, you may only want security updates. You may not want all of your software to be updated. That would be almost similar to like saying feature updates and stuff for Windows. So if you don't want feature updates for the Linux system that may break third-party applications or custom coded applications on your machine, you may want to change the default down to security. But for our case, we're just going to update everything. Update messages set to yes, and that way things are logged. Do you want to download updates? Do you want to apply updates? I like it to be totally automated, so download updates is yes. Should you automatically apply the updates? It is set to no. So I want to go ahead and make that change where it says apply updates. I'm going to hit I for insert, delete the no out, and type yes. I'm going to hit escape to get back into command mode. I'm going to scroll down some more. And I'm going to go back here to see if there's any in there. Any other information, so we can set it up to where that it emails us information. For this lab purpose, I don't really care about sending them an email. I don't want a test machine emailing me that it's updating. But if you had a production system, you could set it up to send emails, set a from, a to email, and the name of the host so you know where it's coming from. You'd then have to probably set up an email relay to accept unauthenticated emails from this system. Otherwise, it would be hit by a spam blocker and blocked out. So I don't want to make any of those changes. I just want to leave the default Let's see what the default here was. Emit via, it says standard input output, so that'll be just either to the screen or to the log file. That's all I want it to do. I don't want to actually set up email for this test case scenario, but the production system, you probably would want that set up so you get emails when patches were installed. So I'm not going to make any other changes. I'm just going to type in :WQ to write and quit. And now we should restart. So hit my up arrow key a couple times until I get to the sudo command and put restart Yum Cron and hit enter. You can exclude packages. So if you don't want the kernel or certain applications updated, you could go in and type exclude and specify the names of programs you don't want to exclude. I don't want to block anything from updating. I want everything to update. And since we're not setting up emails, you would want to check your cron logs to make sure that it's actually set up, and then you'd also want to check to make sure anything is being run. So let's go ahead and check those to see if we have output. Change into var log. We'll use sudo. We'll use concatenate command cat cron. We're going to search for Yum daily. So nothing is there yet. It could be that it's not run. So we'll probably have to wait for a day and see if the Yum Cron will actually run. So that's our last part, is after you finish this video, is wait until the following day when you got this configured, maybe on Friday, and check out, log back in, and see if your Yum-daily gives you any output. Okay, well that was the goal for these last 2 weeks, is to get the website going, secure it down, make sure the certificate auto-renews itself. Also make sure the Linux machine auto-updates itself every day. I'm going to go a little bit further. I'm going to look at my website again. We had students in the past that wanted to put graphics on their website. So I want to put a graphic on my website. I'm going to go find a graphic. I search for hot air balloons, and I'm going to find a hot air balloon picture. So that hot air balloon picture, I view it on the screen. I look at my title bar. I see my title bar ends in a .jpeg. So I'm going to copy this. I want to copy and save this image into my CentOS machine. So I'm going to open up PuTTY. I'm going to change into where the HTML file was located. It was user share HTML. Yes, that is the location. So I'm going to look at, actually I'm going to go back one directory, cd ... I'm doing ls-l. I'm going to look and see that root owns this folder. And if you remember your Linux permissions, you have user, group, and other. I noticed that group and other don't have write permission. So I have to be root. It's the only one that can write into the HTML folder. So I'm going to go back into the HTML folder. I'm going to do a sudo. I'm going to issue a wget space. And I'm going to right click and paste that graphic file, link location. So wget is webget. It's going to go out on the internet, grab that image and save it. save it here as cloudhoppers.jpg. If you happen to download a graphic that's got a very long, weird name, you'd probably want to use the mv command to change the name of it. Before that, I'll try to access this. I'm going to check a few more things. I'm going to do an ls-Z. I'm going to look, and because I downloaded this from the internet, there's something called SE Linux or Secure Linux. And if a file is downloaded from an unknown location, it's been marked here as undefined object. So I need to change it to the same tag as everything else in the system. It's kind of like a Windows Smart Screen filter. Sometimes if you download something from email or the web, it won't let you open the file unless you unblock it. So that's what happened here. This cloud JPEG is being blocked by the Linux kernel. We won't be able to access this. We need to have it to where the HTTPD, well, let's see. If I'm looking, it does look like HTTP is being allowed. I may not have to do anything. It's undefined. It may, looking at it closer, HTTP_sys content. So let me see if that will work. If not, you would have to research SE Linux and updating the SE Linux tag on files. So I'm going to edit actually I'm going to copy this file name real quick, just highlighting it. We'll put it into my mouse buffer. So I'm going to do a sudo vi index.html. And I want that to be displayed on my website. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to insert, go underneath the H1 tag here that I put my last name in. I'm going to open up a paragraph tag. I'm going to align it center. I'm going to close my paragraph tag. Oh, I forgot the closing alligator there. So right here between the opening paragraph and align center and the closing paragraph, the /p, I'm going to open up an image. I'm going to set the source equal to. I'm going to right click to paste the name of the picture file or type it in. Close the quotation marks. And I'm going to put a space / and a closing bracket. I should put more stuff in there, but just for quick display of an image, that tag should allow it to display on the screen. So if I hit escape, I do a :W. I'm going to write the file. I'm not going to exit yet because I want to go to my website and see if it actually shows up. So if I go to my site and refresh the page, I do see my graphic was added. So just made on my site look a little cooler. Just in case you were worried, you can look up how to code in HTML and learn some HTML, maybe make your site look cool, depending on how curious you are. So I'm going to go and :Q to quit. I'm going to exit out of PuTTY. And we've completed everything for this week, plus a cool extra tip, how to add a graphic to a website.